Let's be real. Everyone starts strong. Day one at the gym, fired up. New meal plan, locked in, fresh goal, laser focused. But what happens by week two? Week four? 6 months in? Motivation fades, life hits, distractions multiply. The excitement dies down, and suddenly the goals you were so committed to feel like distant dreams. Sound familiar? The truth is, motivation isn't constant. It's not something you have or don't. It's not something that magically appears every morning. Motivation is a psychological process, a system, and it can be understood, hacked, and rebuilt. Let's break it down. At its core, motivation is your internal drive to act. But it's not one single thing. Psychologists describe motivation in two key forms: intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. It's when you train because it feels good, because you love the challenge, or because it gives you clarity and control. This is the most powerful type of motivation. It lasts. Extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, comes from outside rewards: looking better, getting praise, making money, or hitting numbers on a scale. It works, but it's fragile. When the external reward disappears, so does the drive. Here's the key. Long-term success relies on shifting from extrinsic to intrinsic motivation. You might start because you want a six-pack, but you'll stay in the game because of how training makes you feel, think, and grow. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Motivation isn't random. It comes from three core psychological needs. This is based on a theory called self-determination theory, one of the most researched frameworks in psychology. Those three needs are autonomy, the feeling that you're in control of your choices; competence, the belief that you're getting better and mastering something; relatedness, the sense of connection to others or a larger purpose. When those three are satisfied, motivation flows. When one or more is missing, motivation collapses. So, if you've ever felt like you lost motivation, ask yourself, am I choosing my path, or am I being forced into it? Do I feel like I'm improving or stuck at a plateau? Do I feel connected to a goal, a group, or a bigger reason? Let's take an example. Say someone starts going to the gym just to lose 20 pounds. At first, the excitement of change fuels them, but soon, weight loss slows down. They feel stuck, they don't see fast results, they get discouraged, and they quit. But now imagine instead they focus on strength, they track their lifts, they feel more in control, they join a fitness group, they get consistent encouragement and accountability. Over time, the weight still comes off, but more importantly, they stay in it for the long haul. The structure shifted from outcome-based motivation to process-based motivation. That's where the real fire lives. Now let's talk about dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the reward chemical, but that's only half the story. Dopamine is actually released in anticipation of a reward. It fuels pursuit, not satisfaction. That's why chasing goals often feels more addictive than achieving them. You can hack this. Break big goals into small wins. Every milestone, every PR, every day you show up, that's a dopamine hit. Stack enough of those, and you build what's called a reward loop. Motivation builds on itself, like compounding interest. But what about when motivation dips? Because it will. The key is to not rely on motivation. Rely on systems. Here's the difference. Motivation says, I feel like doing this today. Systems say, this is what I do, no matter what. Motivation fluctuates. Discipline based on systems keeps going. Create systems like scheduled workouts, meal prep routines, accountability partners, visual reminders, or even playlists that prime your brain for action. Another overlooked factor? Identity. One of the most powerful motivational shifts is when people stop trying to get fit and start identifying as a fit person. When your identity aligns with your goals, habits follow naturally. Instead of saying, I'm trying to work out more. Say, I'm the kind of person who trains daily. Instead of, I want to eat clean, say, I fuel my body like an athlete. Identity-based motivation sticks because it's who you are, not just what you do. Let's also touch on willpower fatigue. You only have so much mental energy each day. If you have to constantly fight your environment, junk food in the kitchen, no plan for training, people who discourage you, then motivation will drain faster. Set up your environment to reduce friction. Prep your clothes the night before. Keep junk out of sight. Have your gym playlist ready. The fewer decisions you have to make, the easier it becomes to take action. One more tip. Track progress visually. Use a wall calendar. Cross off each workout. See your consistency. When you look at that chain of X's, you'll fight hard not to break it. This taps into your brain's need for continuity and gives you another layer of motivation. Now let's be honest. Even with the best strategies, you'll have off days. That's normal. But here's the truth. Winners aren't the most motivated. They're the most consistent. Motivation is the spark. Systems and identity are the fuel, and habits are the engine. So if you want to master motivation, build habits that remove decision fatigue. Tie your goals to your identity. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. Surround yourself with people and environments that push you forward. And most importantly, remind yourself why you started, but also why you must continue. Because it's not just about what you want. It's about who you're becoming. There will be days where you don't feel like it. That's not a reason to quit. That's a signal to lean into the systems you've built. Motivation might start the journey, but psychology sustains it. And if you understand how it works, you can create it. Anytime. Over and over again. You just have to stop chasing motivation and start engineering it.